Everyone, let's do the Boujee Booktube tag today. The tag was created by a book olive and I was tagged by Sue over at Sue's Book Nook. I'll leave the links to their videos in the description. So let's get to the questions. It's all about the value of books and money and prices and things like that. The first question is, what's my average monthly budget for books? And I have to admit I don't have one. I don't really pay attention to how much money I spend on books because I am not a regular book buyer. I buy books when I have a chance or when I want a book. So I don't really pay that much attention to how much money I spend then on a monthly basis, taking into consideration that I spend about 20-something euros on the Audible membership. For question number 2, I don't really have an answer because I don't really know what is the most that I've ever spent in a bookshop. Question number 3 asks if I'm willing to spend full price on a new release or rather wait for a sale or a coupon or something. And that doesn't really work here. There are no sales for books. I always pay full price if I buy the book here. If I buy the book abroad, that's a different issue, but I can't plan on buying a new release abroad because that would be exact timing and I'm bad at that. Question number 4 is weird for me. It's would I rather buy one new book or several used, less expensive copies? And it really depends on what I want. If I want to have that one book and I can only get it new, then I would want to buy that. If I have a chance of used books, which I only have when I'm traveling, usually to London, then I would always go and spend the money, or rather the weight I have for books, on used books. But it's not something I calculate or plan on doing. It always depends on the books I want to have. If I want to have a book specifically, it doesn't matter what it costs, at least to me. Question number 5 is complicated. It's what I think is a reasonable price for a new hardback, paperback or ebook. And Britta Böhler made a really good video about book pricing. And I think, leaving aside what the book market thinks a book should cost, I think we all have a personal price that is where we don't care anymore. For me, for example, is if I see a paperback and the general gist for me is 10 euros. So if I see a paperback I am mildly interested in and it's under 10 euros or 10 euros, I usually don't think twice about buying it. If it's above 10 euros, I really must want to have that book to buy it now and not think about like, oh, I'll do it later, I have something else to read. So then I think more about buying the book if it's more than 10. But that doesn't mean that's what the book is worth or that's the right price. It's just my stingy budgeting thing where I think 10 euros, I don't have to worry about it. I can always buy a book for 10 euros. If I spend more on it, I can't do that all the time. And then I'd have to start paying attention to the money I spend on books. Does that make sense? Maybe. This doesn't really work for when I'm abroad. Like this year I've been to Los Angeles and New York and I bought books that were on average $15. And normally here I wouldn't spend that much of money on a paperback without thinking. I'd really have to want to have that book and want to read it now. But there I was just like, it's indie bookstores, it's new bookstores, it's America, it's different prices, I'm on vacation. So there that didn't count. Hardbacks, I hardly ever buy hardbacks. I really don't like hardbacks. I don't like to read them. I don't like to have them in my shelves. I am not a fan of hardbacks. When it comes to ebooks, I have a similar thing with I don't really pay attention. Like if it's under 4 euros, I tend to buy whatever I want to have and see. When it comes to books that are more than 4 euros, I start to compare the paper book price to the ebook price. And if it's almost the same or similar, I prefer to get the printed book. But usually those are books that I'm buying on a wish list to go on my TBR kind of thing. There is a difference on how I buy books. If I buy books because I want to read that specific book now, I genuinely don't pay that much attention to the price. If it's a book that's supposed to go on my TBR because I just have the opportunity to buy it now because I'm on vacation, it's in a used bookstore, then I might buy it. If it's something that I just heard about, I started putting things more on my wish list for later because I'm trying to keep my TBR in control and that really helps with the book buying. Go figure. Question number 6 asks whether I find books more valuable if they are signed. And I can't say that. I have a few signed books, but I don't really care that much about that. So it doesn't really add much value for me. And the same for first editions. I honestly don't care if I have a first edition or a 15th edition, as long as I can read the text and it's a nice book. Question number 7 had me thinking. It's the most valuable book for me, either sentimentally or from prices. And I know which is the most expensive book money-wise. That would be Tree of Coats, because that was about 50 euros. And I really wanted to have it, but it was more part of an art thing. But other than that, I do like all my books, and I find it strange to reread a story in a different form or book than the one I read it first in. So I tend to prefer my books and then the same edition to reread it. So I'm not one to go and buy different editions to read the story in different editions. I really don't understand that. I prefer to have the same physical object in hands. But other than that, I'm not really that attached to things. Question number 8 asks if I will pay more for a cover or edition that I like better. And that's also the thing with like buying different editions. I don't do that. I buy the book that I can get my hands on if and when I see it. I don't go particularly looking for different editions. I do have some books that I don't buy because of the cover, but I don't think I've ever looked for different editions with different covers to see which one is the best. But I would definitely pay more for a cover that I like, always. I'm a cover buyer, you know that. Question number 9 asked about the physical characteristics of a good quality book. And I think since I mainly read paperback, I want not too thin pages. I want proper sizes that I can hold it, but genuinely readability. If I can hold the book and if I can read it, it wins. If it doesn't fall apart when I break the spine, it wins. If the pages are not see-through, it's a win. It needs to be usable. A book is an object that you want to use, so if you cannot use it, it basically fails as a quality book. But other than that, I don't really care if a book has deckled edges or not, if it has a French flap or some fancy design. For the general book, I just want to get at the text and it needs to be legible. I think I have pretty boring answers and I didn't even hold up a book yet. I'm sorry. Question number 10 asks about the bookish thing I would do if I won the lottery. And that's rather easy because I just think I would like to go traveling and reading. Like I just went to New York for a week just to be away from home and enjoy the time and read and go book shopping and just do nothing and have the time to spend with books. And I think I would like to do that more, go on bookish trips. So take time out of my life and go somewhere else where I can also enjoy the city and the area, but also don't feel bad about spending a lot of time in that place reading. I think I would like that. The bonus question is about our dream library, and I don't think I have one. I know that's really weird to say, but I do think it really depends on the space you have. And since I cannot affect the space I have, it's kind of ridiculous for me to dream up a dream library for my home. I don't know why. So, this was pretty bad. I don't know. Thank you all for watching if you stayed this long. Let me know in comments if you've done the tag. If you want to do the tag, just do it. Feel yourself tagged by me if you haven't already. And let me know some answers if you don't have a channel and want to share your thoughts on prices and money and value on books. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.